Mark 30 seconds until airtime. Once again, stations, if you encounter technical issues during the broadcast, please call the Oregon Studio Hotline at 336-831-0864. Stations, your final time cue will be with 15 seconds until airtime. Mark 15 seconds until airtime.
Duck's gonna pick it up, and here we go. Got him deep. He's open. He's got it. He's gone.
How about that?
Oregon repeats as the Pac-12 champion.
Duarte pulls up, 3-ball. Bang!
LJ Figueroa!
Oregon goes back to back for the fourth time in the last 6 years. The Ducks are Pac-12 champions.
Foley three. Goal! Foley ball. Three is good. Diarra-Savali. Wing. Pow. Yeah, boom, boom.
Welcome to Duck Insider.
What a weekend.
We're just getting started.
This is Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield IMG College. Presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Better banking, local solutions. Live from the Country Financial Studio, here's Joey Mack.
It is almost spring game Saturday. The Ducks getting ready to face off against themselves inside Autzen Stadium. The final practice of the spring is set to start at 2 o'clock on Saturday. We wish that fans were going to be able to be in attendance. Unfortunately, did not work out that way, with the announcement coming Tuesday of Lane County moving into the extreme risk category beginning tomorrow. That means no fans allowed at Autzen Stadium. I'm hopeful that the light is at the end of the tunnel and we can have a full Autzen Stadium here soon, but unfortunately it will not be this weekend. And look, at the end of the day, I'm bummed. Players are bummed. Coaches are bummed. Fans are bummed. Everybody's bummed. You can still watch it on Pac-12 Network, and you can listen to Jerry and Jorky call it on the Oregon Sports Network via our various streaming platforms, goducks.com/radio, for where you can tune in your market. Some great news today, though. It's draft day, baby! Woo! You know, my friends and I have a tradition. Every single year since 2015, we have watched the single greatest, worst sports movie ever, Draft Day, on Draft Eve. Last night, it's really amazing. Kevin Costner, probably the most recognizable actor in terms of sports movies. But Draft Day, the premise is interesting. Don't get me wrong, but the movie and the execution is just so unrealistic, I just can't even. So anyway, my friends and I always watch it together. We Zoomed last night. We watched Draft Day. And it's just one of those stupid traditions that makes me go, God, sports are great. You've never seen Draft Day, Scott? Mitchell Lee, I know, has seen it. Mitchell, would you agree that that is the worst Kevin Costner sports movie?
How dare you?
Wow.
And I watched this movie earlier today because I do it every round one of the NFL draft.
Yeah, see? I'm telling you.
It's a tradition I have. It's a goofy movie, but it's so much fun.
It is. Don't get me wrong. It's fun, but just, oh, God. Rich Eisen getting up there and going, he took a risk. He went with his guys.
Vontae Mack, no matter what.
Vontae Mack, no matter what. Yeah, it is a fun movie to watch. Don't get me wrong. So anyway, that's what kicked off draft season for me. So good luck to all of the Ducks tonight. Hoping that there's a few first-round names called. You'll be following along on the Oregon football social media. They've got some fun things planned for Penei Sewell, Javon Holland, Thomas Graham, the rest of them, Brady Breeze, Diamador Lenore, Nick Pickett. I mean, there's so many guys to mention. And, man, I think it's going to be a special night. The NFL draft is one of the most fun things. Kyle says it's horrible. See? I'm not the only one, all right? Yeah. So that's going to be great news here coming up. Also, baseball coming off a two-game series against San Jose State. The Ducks won 11-7 over San Jose State on Tuesday, and it was a big win for the Ducks. Not even close with a few crooked numbers and innings yesterday. They won 13-1. So a good sign for the Ducks. We're going to hear from Mark Wazikowski coming up. Quick note on Oregon baseball, too, as they get ready to take on Washington State. Oregon is still sitting in the top 8 in the national RPI right now. Ducks are 26-9 on the season. Let's go, Oregon baseball. And Colby Summers has been named to the Stopper of the Year Award watch list. He's the closer for the Ducks, the Hillsboro native, a 1-0 record with a 1.5 .54 ERA with 7 saves and 11 appearances this season. Congratulations to Colby Summers. Women's golf heading to the postseason. Men's golf with a great finish in the Pac-12 Championships. Beach volleyball off to a nice start in the Pac-12 Championships this morning. More updates coming. And we're also going to talk with Rob Moseley, the editor-in-chief of GoDucks.com. Steven asking, I noticed they're charging to watch live track meets at Hayward Field now. Will there be any more free live broadcasts? I don't know for sure, Steven. I do not know for sure. I will try to get an answer to that question. I do not know for sure what the broadcast plan is. I do know that some of them coming up will be on television. They won't just be on a stream, so I'm hoping that is the case, but I will try to get an answer for you here soon, Steven. All right, spring game coming up tomorrow. Mario Cristobal met with the media, if you're live with us in the 1 o'clock hour, just about an hour ago today, to preview the spring game. And I could tell you some storylines I'm going to watch, but how about the storylines the head coach is going to be watching for, as the Ducks will still working to finalize that format, but it's going to be a football game, at least in the first half. Mario Cristobal meeting with the media.
Real good practice. Competitive, physical. Man, a lot of reps. It's just one of our typical Tuesday, Wednesday practices during the year. Points of emphasis today were 2-minute, third down, red zone, both high and low, some short yardage stuff, some 2-point play stuff, with that being such a bigger factor now in the overtime scenarios. Also a ton of the usual stuff, the block destruction, the 1-on-1, 2s-on-2s, 5-on-4s, and 7-on-7 run and pass both, as well as a team pass period in the high red zone. So really pleased with today's effort, with guys going out there and taking care of business. Certainly a lot of guys, after practice, excited for a lot of our players. The next couple of days should be a really good day for the Ducks and their family. So questions?
Yeah, Mario, what's the format from the game perspective of rosters? Have you figured that out yet? And do you hope to maybe play a full game?
Not sure. I know the first half will be exactly like a football game, whether it be, two different teams or offense and defense. Don't know. We're trying to see who's available, who's going to make it. We feel good about playing a real quality game, but not sure exactly if it's going to be two teams or offense and defense. Second half will be a running clock. Second half will be a thud format. First half will be live ball.
I wonder if you explain the process and Kayvon going from, his hand in the dirt to an edge linebacker, what the decision was there.
Well, Kayvon's doing the same thing this year they did last year for the most part. There's some wrinkles in the system and some things that involve him in just about everything we're doing. We feel he's the most disruptive player in college football, and he'll be used as such. So I think sometimes terminology or language causes a little bit of cloudiness as to what he's going to be doing, but you'll see him wreaking havoc at the line of scrimmage. I don't think you'll be seeing him dropping into coverage anytime soon, right? So, but he's been outstanding. He's been absolutely phenomenal in terms of his approach to spring ball, in terms of leadership, in terms of encouraging the physicality of our team. Both against the run and in the passing game, drill to drill, period to period. He's been exceptional, and we're going to challenge him to keep doing that, because he could really not only help elevate himself, he could really elevate this football team and our physicality.
And then next year, what it's going to be like for him in the draft, the way he projects.
I think we know he's got a super future. We like to keep things man. You guys are killing me, man. We haven't played a season yet. We haven't had the 21 draft. We're headed to the 22 draft.
Right.
We feel that he can be the best player in the country, and it's safe saying that, because knowing him, he's going to use that as motivation. He's not a guy that allows it to go to his head. He's going to be energized. He's going to take on challenges. He's going to allow us to push him and get the most out of him. So big future for him. I mean, as big as it gets, sky's the limit. And he knows that the sky's the limit for our program, and he's going to be leading that charge.
Mario, how disappointing was it, the news the other day of the move to extreme risk and no fans, no families?
All the things that you mentioned are valid points. It was pretty brutal to hear that news. I know what it's like to go down the street and see my son play in some of those games. I know how much that means to me, and that's flag football. So to our fans, I mean, let's call it what it is. There's no spring game on the West Coast like Oregon. It's not even close. And we haven't seen them in a while. And you know how much we love our fans and they love us. We wanted to put on a great show in front of them live, in person. So the news was rough. It was hard to take. But like anything else in a pandemic, you roll with it and you go forward. And if it's, we're going to do what's safest and what's best for everybody. So those are the orders. That's what we're going with. So we're moving forward. In terms of its impact in recruiting, I think, I think what we've done as a program and what we're doing as a program, the recruiting classes being stacked up, the way it's showing up in the draft, the way it's showing up in championships, I think those things speak more loudly than any one event can. So keep our head looking in our eyes straight ahead and keep working and grinding. We have a lot of work to do. We know how special this team and this season and the future is going to be. So we just want to get to work, honestly, brother. That's all we want to do. We want to get to work and keep doing and showing instead of proclaiming.
Panay's described you as a second father. We all know the impact he had on you turning this thing around. You have Noah here. You're close to the family. Mm-hmm. What do you think your emotions will be like seeing Panay realize the dream?
Oh, yeah. I think this, certain things when you're a coach, you see them way before they come in a reality. I can tell you in 2017 at the All Poly camp, this day was already envisioned. Just so happy for that family. Words cannot describe, because knowing where they came from, the sacrifices that they have made, and the type of family they are, that is, man, just tap into those old family videos and photos. That's as good of a family as good-hearted, good-natured, hardworking, just incredible DNA, incredible human beings, great, his father, mother, Miss Arlene, Gabe, I could go on and on and on. It's just, it's going to be an incredible moment. Awesome for everybody involved. And, for that family, kind of just the beginning. They've got a couple sons still out there, with Senior out there, getting his shot hopefully too, and Nephi out at Utah. And then Noah over here, they've got a lot of football ahead of them. So the days will keep stacking on themselves.
Coach, when you look back at last season, some of the defensive statistics were down from the year before. What have you, and then you brought in Coach DeRuiter, obviously, and he installed his stuff. What have you seen this spring to make you think that this defense is going to go back to the trajectory it was on?
Yeah, last year that was we experienced a considerable drop in our run defense, and then of course points allowed in total defense. And you take a good hard look at what you can do to get better, and you don't blame a player, any coaches. You put upon yourselves as a program, all of us, and that's how we've approached it. There's certainly a lot of things that we could do, especially in the form of how we call it and the way we align in certain formations, how we disguise our coverages and how we play our coverages, what we're teaching in terms of eye discipline, body position, relative position, all those things. And when you bring in a coordinator like Coach DeRuiter, who's seen all that stuff and has had great success against a lot of the teams in our conference, a lot of things come to light that you're going to be able to apply that should make a really significant difference. And the most significant difference is us doing a better job coaching the physicality and demanding more physicality, and our players demanding more physicality from themselves. It's always going to start up front in the trenches when it comes to defending the run and knocking it back. And we've made up a lot of ground in that. We've really pushed and encouraged and driven and kept just bringing this thing on harder and more intense as spring practice went on. We feel like we've gotten some really good results. We want to build on those as we watch this film, go through our walkthrough, and then play on Saturday, and then carry that over the offseason. So, again, work to do, but in terms of the scheme, the alignments, the assignments, what we're teaching from an eye discipline standpoint, some of the calls, the way we pressure people, the way that we bring our stunts, our angles and stem, there's just a lot of stuff and a lot of changes that have just, we feel, made us just a better unit.
That's Mario Cristobal, the Oregon football head coach, meeting with the media. Every time he talks with the media, it's brought to you by the Willamette Valley Cancer Institute and Research Center. Fight like a duck with cancer care you can count on. Tobiah, to answer your question about women's basketball assistant coaches, when there's an official release, we'll have it for you on the show. All right. Okay. I like the question, though. It's a good question. And also, Freddie asking, who's the cornerback? I think we're actually going to see a number of different cornerbacks in this game. He said cornerback, but who's the quarterback? Well, Mario Cristobal is going to talk a little bit more about that coming up. But we've got more with the Oregon football head coach, previewing Saturday's 2 o'clock spring game here on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield IMG College.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, On Point proudly supports University of Oregon athletics because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. On Point Community Credit Union. Join in. OnPointCU.com. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
On March 5th, 2021, we lost a larger-than-life member of the Oregon Ducks family. Chris Bjork passed away surrounded by his wife Allison and their 3 sons, Anders, Henry, and Jordy. After spending more than 26 years working with the University of Oregon, we are proud to establish the Chris Bjork Scholarship Fund in his honor. Go to goducks.com/Bjork Scholarship. That's goducks.com/Bjork Scholarship to make a contribution and help us remember a great Duck.
Your daily dose of Oregon athletics. This is Duck Insider from Learfield IMG College.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting a Teenager. Learning the lingo.
Hundo P. Hundo P. Adjective. Short for being 100% sure or certain. As in, if we get a puppy, I'll Hundo P always walk it.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care would love you just the same. Visit adoptuskids.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
A ranger station.
I'd like to report a bear hug.
Okay.
I put out my campfire and Smokey Bear hugged me.
So you drowned the fire, you stirred it, drowned it again, and felt that it was cold?
Uh-huh.
Yep, he's just letting you know you did good.
Bear hug from Smokey Bear. Status update.
I'm gonna let you go now. There are many ways to start a fire, but one sure way to put it out. Learn how you can do your part at SmokeyBear.com.
Sponsored by the U.S. Forest Service, Ad Council, and your state forester.
We welcome you back to Duck Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. I'm in the Country Financial Studio. Hi, I'm Joey Mack. Steven just made me laugh with this comment. So those of you who were tuning in for the Oregon baseball broadcast yesterday, we had the stream with the Oregon Sports Network call. And, man, I love doing those because, I do the call for the radio audience also, but when it's a live stream game, myself and Chris Pankin, man, we're having a ton of fun. Chris running the show back in the Matthew Knight Arena control room. And so if you missed it yesterday, Logan Mercado made his Duck debut. Logan Mercado qualified for the Junior Olympics as a competitive cup stacker. Now a pitcher for the Ducks. He qualified for the Junior Olympics in competitive cup stacking. So what do you know? We have to find video of this. We do. Chris gets it into the system, and Alex Stimson, bless his heart, finds cups, and he is because Alex is with a wireless mic roaming around the stands because we can't be in the booth together. So Alex starts trying to do the competitive cup stacking himself, and God, it was funny. Steven saying, quote, "The cup challenge during your baseball game was hilarious. However, got to tell you, sometimes when the Ducks get a timely hit, your mic volume rose a few more decibels and practically knocked me off my chair. The excitement is contagious after the initial shock." Well, thank you. I do get excited. I got a couple texts from, actually, I should say Sean Harling, the director of baseball operations, got a couple texts that described me as an energy factory, I think. I think that's a good thing in baseball. A lot of times people don't want the overexcited baseball broadcast. You kind of want the flowing, I don't know. But I am a baseball guy. And Wesley, I am not by myself. Scott Phillips is sitting right here, and that is why we are following University of Oregon policies with our masks on in a room that has no ventilation. I feel like I answer that question at least once a day. Mario Cristobal, the Oregon football head coach, continuing his press conference as he previews Saturday's spring game, 2 o'clock kickoff. First half, going to be a football game. Second half, going to be a thud running clock. We'll have the broadcast for you on the Oregon Sports Network with Jerry and Georgie on the call. I will be roaming around somewhere at Autzen Stadium. I don't really know yet. Kind of depends on my mood, I guess. And I wish that fans were there. I really wish that fans were there. Let's get back to Mario Cristobal. That's what everybody wants to hear. No one cares what I think. Let's hear from the head coach.
Coach, as we head into the spring game here, just wanted to see if we get a health update on your team. I know Justin Flo is a guy that we're looking to maybe see soon. Dante Manning. And how do you feel about the health of your team heading into this weekend?
I think we're healthy enough to play a spring game. We're going to be healthy for the season. Will some guys be unavailable? Yeah, typically in spring you'll see some of that. But the two guys you just mentioned, you know, they've gotten back recently and they've played more and more snaps each and every day. They are exciting to watch. Those guys are explosive and difference makers. So them, along with a bunch of other guys, are going to get their turns and opportunities. It showed today in a big time way. We had a team period called Team Period Next Man Up, where after each play, we had a certain guy on each side of the ball have to step out, almost like, okay, this happens, whether it be an injury, helmet off, next man up. And the way guys stepped up and made plays at all positions, because we had a substitution at every single level, I think is very indicative of not only the guys you mentioned, but the rest of the team and how they've approached spring ball with a purpose. You know, they had a goal, but they attacked it with a purpose, and it showed up today in practice.
I know you said you haven't decided on format, but what's, I guess, the goal in terms of splitting reps at quarterback? Are you hoping that Anthony gets a certain share and then the guys behind him get even share, or is it going to be trying to be split evenly amongst all four?
We'll figure that out tonight, tomorrow. You know, Anthony will get the bulk of the reps, and then the other guys will split them up for the most part, and then we'll reconfigure this, evaluate, and go in the summer and have a plan as well. So, and when you have a competition where everyone's alive in it, you want to keep everybody alive and get an opportunity. So that's what we'll do. I wouldn't read much into it until we're getting closer to the fall and closer to game one. And I'll do my very best to give you like exactly what the rotation is in.
We focus a lot, obviously, on the top of the depth chart, Mario, but how much of evaluation comes in, especially on Saturday for the twos?
Well, it's a great point, and that's what the whole entire spring is about. What you'll see is a blend. You'll see a lot of twos in there with the ones, or guys that are perceived twos. You keep it as an organizational thing so that it doesn't mean anything except that you're competing. You'll see guys that have been working with the threes, working with the twos, and some of them might even get work with the ones, depending on availability. So you're going to see guys get opportunity. We've evaluated, I'll get the numbers logged up by the end of the weekend so that you get an idea of how rep intensive our spring practice has been. And when I say rep intensive, I'm talking not only from a team standpoint, from offense versus defense. I'm talking from all the unit work as well, when it's 7-on-7, 9-on-9, 5-on-4. You log a lot of reps, and you're going to see that same blend on Saturday to make sure we get the best chance to evaluate how our twos can fare against the ones, and whether guys that have been working as threes or maybe even fours can work their way into the 2 deep.
Mario, what have you learned about your team over 13 practices now that maybe you didn't know or weren't sure about a month ago?
That we want to be really good. I felt like I kind of knew it, but wanted to see it shown by the guys in the way that we approach things, and just really, just in a day and age where, there's so much, I guess, talk, you want to be a part of an organization that is about action, and wanted to see it put into action on a daily basis. And we want to make sure that how we do anything is how we do everything, applying it to how we meet, how we walk through, how we handle our academics, how we handle ourselves off the field. Those were the things that we wanted to see. We want to build discipline, right? We want to make sure that we're not a team that's jumping off sides, all right? Or that's, avoiding pre-snap penalties. Still got some work to do in that department. Want to see how physical we can be. We made some strides. We still have to make more progress in that area. So I think we've taken a significant jump, and we must take another one in the offseason in the summertime.
How much do you weigh what happens in a spring game against what happens in the 14 other days of practice?
Yeah, well, what you weigh, since you and everybody around the country, right? You work on certain things, and come the spring game, you're vanilla, because why would you show that? Why would you give somebody else an advantage, right? What you want to see are guys playing hard with great technique and fundamentals, and understanding exactly what we're doing, how we're doing it, and why we're doing it that way. And that's got to show on tape. I mean, at the end of the day, football's still about blocking and tackling and throwing and catching and running and all that stuff. And that's got to show up. Guys taking good angles to the ball, guys making good tackles, guys running their feet through contact, and playing hard, playing a certain way and setting a standard for how we play. The scheme itself and what you use, I wouldn't, there's some things that we've already done that you'll see. But overall, I wouldn't put much stock in that side of it. I wouldn't put much stock in that side of it as it relates to anybody in the country. But, we are going to play football, and we're going to play competitive football. For us, there are no waste downs. There are no wasted days. This is a big, big practice for us, a tremendous opportunity for us to get better. And that's how it's going to be approached, just like a game is.
I had one Panay question for you, Mario. Back a while back, you'd said that his recruiting process gave you more gray hairs than anything else you experienced in your life and almost caused cardiac arrest for you. Well, now that he's at this point, can you expound on what about that recruiting process was clearly extremely stressful?
It was a position that had to, every team is built differently. I felt we needed a left tackle. And when you get one of those, I'm sure you'll see in the NFL draft. I mean, you've seen it for years. You've seen it for a long, long time. How that position, like any other game changer position, has an impact. Well, that was one that where we were going to be going and the type of quarterback we were going to have and the way we were going to run the football was going to be just monumental in terms of being able to change things early, not develop over the course of 2 or 3 years. So that might explain, it's important, man. You know how it is. I mean, there's positions on the field where if you sign a great wide receiver, guy could probably come in and play right away. They do all the time. Offensive linemen typically a little bit more time to be prepared, to be ready, to mature physically well enough to be effective. This guy was going to be ready to go, and he was. So awesome stuff.
Coach, there's a couple guys on the defense that are kind of adjusting to new roles. One of the big headlines early in spring was Kayvon playing more of a true outside linebacker, and then Brian Addison is getting reps at corner. What have you seen from those guys adjusting to those roles?
Well, the same thing we mentioned earlier about Kayvon. Kayvon's playing the same position he played last year. He might be named different, but same assignments, same disruptive nature of his position. Probably added more things to what he does. Brian Addison played a lot of safety in high school and had practiced with us at safety before. Where there's a need at that position, he has done really well in practice. And at wide receiver, we have some guys that have stepped in and done really well also. So it bodes well for us from a depth standpoint. Brian can really put himself in a position to compete for a starting job. I think he's pushing to try to do that. And we need a really big game out of him on Saturday.
Coach, you talked about some of the impacts of no fans just from a recruiting perspective, but how about just on a personal level from a player perspective? I know Anthony was talking about wanting his parents to be out here and they were planning on coming, and other players said something similar. How tough was it seeing them kind of have to make those changes last minute?
Well, it's always tough. It's always tough, but I think if you focus on how tough it is instead of on what you have to do, you're going to just keep talking about how tough it is. So it doesn't make us happy. It's not what we want, but maybe it's a reminder to everybody, let's take care of our business and, beat this virus and be smart so that we can have a packed Autzen. That's what we want, right? I mean, that's what we're doing. Let's also everybody work like crazy to make sure that we raise enough money and donate enough food to shatter the record, right? And food for Lane County. I think, what is it, $1 is equal to 3 meals or something like that. We could knock it out the park and make this into something really, really good and focus on that. So I'm with you, brother. I don't like it. It's with the amount of people that want to come to our game. And I'm going to go back and say it again. There is no spring game on the West Coast like Oregon's. It's not even close. So to not have it 2 years in a row, it's something that, let's use it. Let's be even better. Let's create more excitement by having a great year. Let's sign another top class, and let's make next year's spring game the biggest extravaganza we've ever had. Let's just keep rolling, Let's just keep going forward.
Yeah. Yep. Mario Cristobal, wise words, the Oregon football head coach. Also, Tobiah, you are not the only one that was hearing a little screaming in the background. The press conference room is right behind the locker room for Oregon football, so it's a lively day at practice today. The Ducks were in shells this morning on the outdoor practice fields. Pretty physical practice. They will practice kind of a walkthrough style one more time tomorrow before Saturday's spring game at 2 o'clock. Coming up next, we're going to talk a little Oregon baseball as the Ducks, they're sitting pretty right now heading into postseason, and they got a big series at Washington State coming up. Going to talk with the Oregon baseball head coach, Mark Wazakowski, next on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield IMG College.
Dear Freedom, Toyota hybrids say, let's go faster and further with 10 hybrid models to choose from and tons of top tech. The best part? Every Toyota hybrid offers an extended hybrid battery warranty for 10 years or 150,000 miles. So let's go places. Toyota hybrids.
For Toyota hybrid, plug-in hybrid, and fuel cell and battery electric vehicles beginning with model year 2020. The hybrid HV battery is covered for 10 years from original date of first use or 150,000 miles, whichever comes first. Coverage is subject to terms and conditions of your new vehicle limited warranty. See owner's warranty and maintenance guide for details.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, On Point proudly supports University of Oregon athletics because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. On Point Community Credit Union. Join in. OnPointCU.com. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
You're listening to Duck Insider. Duck Insider on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield IMG College.
I'm probably okay to have one more drink before I drive home. I'm probably okay. I open the window to stay alert. Probably okay. I just popped some gum in my mouth.
Step out of the car, please.
I probably made a mistake.
Probably okay isn't okay when it comes to drinking and driving. If you see a warning sign, stop and call a cab, a car, or a friend. Buzzed driving is drunk driving. A message brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
When I grow up, I want to be a new pair of blue jeans.
When I grow up, I want to be a kid's first computer.
I want to be a warm fleece on a cold day.
Football
I want to be
stadium.
a bike that races around the country.
I want to be a bench on a forest trail.
When I grow up, I don't want to be a piece of garbage. And if you recycle me, I won't be.
Give your garbage another life. Recycle. Learn how at iwanttoberecycled.org. Brought to you by Keep America Beautiful and the Ad Council.
Insider presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Joey Mack inside the Country Financial Studio. Today, Keena Wan announcing that she will be stepping down as the head coach of the Oregon Acrobatics and Tumbling team. Gonna miss her. She's a great advocate for student athletes, and man, I always enjoyed my conversations with her. Compiled an 18-11 record at Oregon. Of course, was also a student athlete here for the Ducks, and she's stepping down to pursue other interests. And so, Keena Wan, we're gonna miss you, Coach, and best of luck the rest of the way. A national search for the next acrobatics and tumbling head coach here at Oregon is already underway. Baseball with a nice 2-game series win with a Tuesday afternoon and a Wednesday midday affair. Ducks beat San Jose State in both games. Coach Wasikowski wasn't all that happy with the 11-7 win, thought the Ducks didn't play their best. They came out and won 13-1, and boy, we saw some incredible performances like Logan Mercado making his debut. Peyton Fuller was back on the mound after we hadn't seen him since the first weekend of March for the Ducks. A lot of good things for Oregon. That roster may be getting a little deeper here down the stretch, and they're going to need it. Mark Wasikowski, we got a chance to catch up with him post-game as the Ducks are now 26-9 on the season, heading into a weekend series in Pullman at Washington State. Beginning Friday at 6 o'clock, we'll have the broadcast for you here on the Oregon Sports Network. Mark Wasikowski talking post-game.
Yeah, really good two-game midweek stretch for us just to be able to get a couple more wins. And play, and obviously the offense was very, very good today. Got a chance to see Logan Mercado out there for the first time. That was really, really fun for all of us, and also Peyton Fuller for the first time after he's come back from being down for a little while. Both those kids threw the ball exceptionally well. Christian Schifatelli hasn't been used for a while, and he's made some adjustments, and that was great to see him have success today. And it was a good overall team win.
Jovans of all those guys in the middle of the order got going, but initially I think maybe your first 7 runs were all, Tanner Smith and then the bottom of the order. How'd you like the way your guys were kind of passing the bat today, particularly at the bottom of the order?
Well, yeah, and one of the bigger at-bats I thought earlier on was when Jack Scanlon got that sac fly to right after a sac bunt. There was just a lot of really good at-bats. The bottom of the order has done a nice job. There's been balance. It stretches your order a long ways when there's more than just one guy that's sitting there carrying you if he's going good. And then if he's not going good, then you tank. And that's not our team. We've got guys. Gavin Grant had a tremendous day today. He goes 3 for 3 with 3 RBIs and 2 runs scored and a walk as well in there. And he does exceptionally well, and he's been swinging the bat very well. So it was just really good to see our guys battle and stretch the lineup all the way through with production.
Zeroing in on the pitching a little bit more, Waz, with Peyton Fuller, with Logan, the rest of the guys, just how big is it now moving forward to build on some of those performances, particularly for Peyton, as you guys can get another arm in there, and Logan, who gave you those 3 good innings today? Well,
it's really important, and we've got some games scheduled coming up. It's not like it's an easy stretch here coming up. We've got obviously the Pac is always the Pac. It's a tough league. And then outside of Pac, we've got some tough games non-conference. I think we still have, if I'm not mistaken, 4 non-conference opportunities on our schedule. 3 of them are against a very good Gonzaga ball club, 2 at our place, 1 at their place this coming Monday. You know, you still have plenty of Pac-12 schedule in front of us that's got some quality teams that we get to still have a chance to play. And so we've got a lot still on the table for us, and stretching our pitching out, having a couple more serviceable arms is clearly going to be needed down the stretch.
Gavin Grant's gone 12 of 21 at the plate over the last few games. Is there any noticeable improvements that he's making to his hitting mechanics to go on this hot streak?
Absolutely. Aaron, and smart on your part, he's gone 12 for 21, and it's because he's really invested a lot of time in the weight room with Coach Hunter and in the batting cages with Coach Martyr. You know, he went through a tech analysis Coach Martyr did with Brett Thomas. They got some feedback, game planned it together, and did some things, made some subtle adjustments with Gavin, and it's paid dividends. And so that's always nice from a coaching standpoint. Sometimes, well, you make some adjustments and it doesn't work out. And then this time, in this case, it clearly has, and it can't be for a better kid. He actually just had a birthday as well. So we're happy for Gavin.
From the press box, it seems like maybe there's only one pitch today that you could really take issue with. Have you seen the attention to detail since Sunday that had so frustrated you with Sunday's loss, and that you, I'm sure, wanted to see the way your team respond? Have you seen the attention to detail the last 2 days?
Not the last 2 days. I thought actually yesterday, I was probably equally as grumpy yesterday as I was on Sunday, to be honest with you. You know, and we talk about how exciting it is to win, because that's the bottom line. The objective, first and foremost, when you come to the field, is to win the game. And when you win the game, it's a good day. You know, it's a good day to be a Duck and a Duck fan and a Duck player and a Duck coach, everybody, a Duck wife for my wife, for God's sake, or a Duck dad for my dad back at the house. You know, that's the objective, to win the game. Once you win the game, sure, you can get grumpy and start going through all that kind of stuff, but you're getting grumpy and you're trying to do those things from a coaching standpoint over the long haul. You're trying to teach what's going to work on a daily basis and work in the long term. And so we're getting used to, as a program, winning, which is great. And we're trying to cultivate an environment of winning more, and the expectation of winning more, to where we can match some of the excellence of these programs that have been on top of college baseball for some time. And now we're in the top 10 in polls. That's fantastic. We're excited about that. But that doesn't mean that we just throw our hands up in the air and go, okay, we even accomplished that. Let's put the sign out in front of the stadium that we're in the top 10 at the end of April, and let's tank the end of the year. I talked about that with the ball club the other day. And these guys said, no, that's not what we're looking for. We don't want the sign out front that says, hey, we were in the top 10 at the end of April. We want to be there at the end. And that was our objective at the start. And the only way that's going to be met is if there's a really high standard. The standard wasn't met on Sunday. The standard wasn't met on Tuesday. The standard was met on Wednesday. And so we're trying to be consistent, knowing that you're not always going to meet that standard. Today we did, so that's 1 in a row. And now we get a chance to be able to meet that standard tomorrow in a practice.
Practice tomorrow? That's today now. And then the Ducks will be heading to Pullman. They're actually heading to Pullman right now as we speak, and then they will play at 6 o'clock on Friday. Coming up, we're going to talk a number of different things with one Rob Moseley, the editor-in-chief of GoDucks.com, is going to join us fresh off the practice fields. Did he have his bucket hat on today? I didn't notice. Good. The bucket hat is how you know it's Rob. We're back after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield IMG College.
Hi, welcome to the Spicy Drive-In. May I take your order?
Can I get the spicy chicken sandwich, please?
The spicy chicken is an excellent choice, sir. And to drink?
Whatever's fine.
Oh, may I make a beverage pairing recommendation this evening?
Sure.
If we are feeling especially bold tonight, sir, I would recommend the Mountain Dew with that. It's bravely unrestrained with a very alive aroma that pairs wonderfully with your spicy chicken. It's followed by a hint of zesty citrus flavor.
Yeah, that sounds amazing.
I'm sure you already know this, sir, but remember to appreciate the nose first by giving the Mountain Dew a little swirl to really volatilize it.
What?
To change the flavor compounds and activate your taste buds to get them fully primed for that chicken sandwich.
It's delicious.
Now you're getting the hang of it. The muscular flavor-charged characteristics of Mountain Dew make for an absolutely epic mouthfeel when paired with spicy cuisine. It is quite on point, sir.
Dude, it's a perfect match. Like they were made for each other.
So true, so true.
When you want to make good food bolder and bold food better, do the do.
Don't go anywhere. Duck Insider continues after these messages on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield IMG College. Learfield IMG College.
Whoa. The moment my son saw a redwood tree.
It's huge!
Is the moment I knew that for him,
You can't even see the top of that thing.
even the sky has no limit.
There are some moments only the forest can inspire. Find yours at discovertheforest.org. Learn about forests near you and discover cool things to do when you go. Your moment is out there. Find it at discovertheforest.org.
Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Jill, why don't you tell the class what you did this weekend?
Well, my dad and I went in search of some magical minnows and found a zillion of them in the stream from our lookout rock. Then my sister and I escaped from an evil slug king and went back to my super twig fort for safety. Then we told stories till it got dark, and the Big Dipper led us all the way home.
Wow. Where were you, Jill?
We went to the forest. It's not that far away.
Ask your parents to take you and your friends to the forest this week. It's closer than you think. Check out discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
We are back in the Country Financial Studio. It's Duck Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. One Rob Moseley, the editor-in-chief of GoDucks.com, is here, ladies and gentlemen. He literally just got off the phone and then came in and was ready to do an interview, and that was after a quick bathroom break. And, man, do you ever breathe? Do you ever sleep? Do you ever take a moment?
Listen, I sleep a lot.
Do you really?
Yeah. I sleep like a teenager still.
Oh, man.
Yeah. I'm like a 8.5
so
hours
jealous
a night
right
guy.
now.
Yeah. I know, like Coach Cristobal is like one of those super sleepers. Like he sleeps like 4 hours a night and he's fine. That ain't me, dude. Like if I get 7 hours, you can tell.
Really?
Like I'm even a bigger jerk than usual.
Wow.
I know.
I slept, I think, 4 hours last night.
And you're fine?
No, but I'm not a big.
Yeah.
I've had a hard time sleeping actually lately. It's kind of a new thing.
Oh.
But man, I'm jealous.
No,
I cannot get over my jealousy for you being able to sleep that much right now.
Yeah, I'm usually like 8.5 hours.
Legit.
That's when I'm most highly functional. I wouldn't say that's typical. During the week, I'm probably closer to like 7.5.
Sure.
But yeah.
NFL draft tonight.
It is tonight.
I imagine there's going to be a lot of sleepless
I thought you were going to
nights.
open with Penguins Capitals.
I actually don't
but
even know.
But apparently not.
I actually don't know what happened. I'm sorry, I missed it.
Oh, we play tonight.
Oh, okay. It's tonight. So you're not going to be paying attention to that as much because of the NFL draft.
Yeah, I mean, multiple screens will be helpful.
Sure. Are you a 2 TV in the living room guy?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm a 4.
Yeah.
It's the only way to live.
4?
Yeah, it's the only way to live.
There are 4 TVs in your living room.
Den, but yes.
TVs.
You've seen it.
Yeah, there's
From
a lot going
years
on.
ago.
There's generally when I'm at your house, there's a lot going on.
That's true.
There's a lot of distractions.
That's true. Distractions is a good word. But yeah, I was allowed one room when we bought our house. God, 3 years ago now. I was allowed one room, and that was what I did with it.
That's generous.
It was, and my wife then
A
made
whole
the
room.
rest of the house look really nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, I honestly believe that, and this is where being a sports fan is so much fun, and why I actually wholly believe that being on the West Coast for being a sports fan is even more fun because you get an opportunity to watch more overlapping events.
Yeah.
There's so much going on. I mean, especially when it's baseball and hockey season, basketball's going on too. I mean, it's the best.
Yeah.
It's
Don't
the best.
disagree. Yeah.
NFL draft tonight. That's a special night, and I think we might hear a few Duck names called here in this first round.
Yeah, it would be nice if Javon Holland particularly can get up in there too.
Mm-hmm.
I figure he'll be off the board no later than tomorrow. But yeah I think for Penei Sewell and just kind of what he meant to Mario Cristobal and this program in that transition, the belief that he had. When you were talking about going into a program that was on its third coach in 3 years, the belief he and his family had in this program and in Mario, and then the development that they saw under Mario. I think there's this real sense that it was a mutually beneficial relationship, which makes tonight one to celebrate on a personal level. I mean, you're always happy for these guys, but I think I think for Mario Cristobal and the Sewell family, that's a special relationship, and I think they're going to really savor this tonight.
So on that note, I think the NFL draft is always cool to celebrate because it's so many dreams come true. I mean, you just see the emotions up there on the stage, and the perfect example for that is I feel like the spring game is actually like. For whatever reason, if you notice, the Oregon Spring Game is like always the weekend of the NFL draft.
Yes.
It happens almost all the time, and
Yes.
I feel like it's such a cool juxtaposition. Like, when Jerry and Georgie are up there calling the game, and I'm roaming around usually on the sidelines or among the concourse, and you hear a guy get drafted, it's like, man, I remember when he was in the spring game here 4 or 5 years ago, and that's just such a cool thing.
The way my brain has filed that away, and knows that connection is an annual thing, is I associate spring game day in part with Aaron Fentress from the Oregonian being in the press box and complaining about whoever the Bears just took. So for whatever reason, that's the association between draft day and the spring game being on the same day that stuck mostly in my mind. Fentress being just ticked off about whoever the Bears just took.
Is he ever happy about who they've taken?
I think he probably is too. But, he gets in the weeds when it comes to the draft. I think he's got his particulars. I'm sure there's been some ones he's been thrilled by, but, yeah, I just, generally he would be sitting behind me and, some sort of reaction, and it would generally not be positive in my memory. Maybe I've conflated it over the years.
That is a really interesting – it is odd the way that your brain works.
Yep.
Not just yours. I meant that as everybody's, but
totally,
I guess
100%.
yours in particular.
Yeah. No, you got to make these associations and file things away in certain ways, and you don't always get to choose.
And the synapses fire the way that they do.
Exactly.
Rob Moseley is the editor-in-chief of GoDucks.com. Practice reports, a lot of other stuff going on GoDucks.com. You can follow him on Twitter at GoDucksMoseley, at DuckFootball. Where are your eyes going to go on Saturday? I ask you that question every year. Like, where are your eyes going on Saturday at the spring game?
Well, in the big picture, I think it's going to be a lot of empty seats and just really disappointed at what might have been. I think it's really disheartening. I mean, I think we all understand on a practical level why things are happening the way they are. If you just look at a graph of virus cases in Lane County over the last 3 months, you see a spike and then a dip, and now we're going the wrong direction.
Yeah.
And so just kind of try to nip that in the bud, and hopefully it only takes a week or two, and we're back on the right path. It just happens to be the worst possible week when it comes to Oregon football being affected one more time. So. I think that's going to be a hard part. I might make sure I have the binoculars on hand so I can kind of lock in on the field and block that part out. But no, I think you just want to see guys, cut it loose and have a good time. I mean, the number one priority always is stay healthy. You just don't want to see a big injury. It's the nature of the game. That's the risk, and it could happen. But you want to see as many guys as possible come out healthy and raring to go for the summer. Other than that, play a pretty clean game. Obviously, the offense wants to play clean football. The defense wants to force a bunch of turnovers. It's the standard give and take of intra-squad action or intra. Yeah. So you don't want to see too many turnovers. You don't want to see no turnovers either. You want everybody to have a little something to like. But it's as Mario Cristobal said today. They're still not sure if they're going to be able to divide up the teams or go offense versus defense. You're not sure what the format is. I mean, there are a couple position groups that are a little thin that could impact that decision. So. We'll see come Saturday based on what the format and availability. That'll impact a lot, kind of what to watch for.
I'm curious too as we head toward now the fall. I mean, in the overall scheme of things, and Coach was asked about this today. You heard it if you were with us earlier on the show. This is really just the 15th practice, right? So you've been around this team at practice.
I need to apologize for that previous answer. I just said not a damn thing. I just talked for like 40 seconds and didn't say a damn thing, and I apologize for that.
I thought you said something.
Okay, all right.
I'm not sure what it was, but I know you said something. But this is really just the 15th practice. I mean, and normally there's kind of a sense of, hey, the lights are on sort of a thing.
Yeah, and if we had 8,000 people on hand, you'd have more of a sense for that. And I think that would kind of impact my answer. Really what I wanted to see is the guys soaking up that atmosphere, having fun. For the freshmen who didn't play for any fans last year, getting a little hint of the Autzen Stadium experience.
Yeah,
that was going to be the main thing that I was really looking for, and just seeing them soak that up and enjoy that and how they performed.
So without that, yeah, it does, from our perspective, just does kind of feel like another practice. Yeah. It's disappointing. I mean, this was going to be different because this was going to be a spectacle, and it's not going to be quite the same spectacle because not having the fans on hand. It's a bummer.
Big evaluation day, though, no doubt about it.
For sure, 100%. Yeah, I think if you're the staff, you're trying to create as much of a game day feel as you can, and so you'll have try to do some things Friday that make it feel like a normal pregame day, and then go through some game day routines Saturday to try to create that energy, that sense of it being an event, and then see who performs in that circumstance. But again, it's just not going to be quite what we all hoped it was going to be.
Well, and it's still at least a little bit of a spectacle because it's broadcast on Pac-12 Network. Totally. Jerry and Georgie will have the call on the Oregon Sports Network affiliate stations, and so it's still some of that, right?
No doubt.
There's still a lot of people tuning in. It's going to feel a little different, but you mentioned something interesting, and I'll let you go on this, Rob, that there's going to be probably the largest number of players ever that are going to experience the Autzen Stadium crowd for the first time. And this is true not just at Oregon, but at every other school. I mean, there's going to be a lot of extra butterflies maybe when fans are finally back in there
September.
Because, there's a lot more players that haven't had that experience yet.
I think for all of us, the Fresno State game is going to be, there might be some tears at that game.
No doubt. No doubt about it.
Yeah.
I hear you. Also, Dave wants to know who's your pick for the Kentucky Derby on Saturday.
I haven't even looked, but I got to because that's something we can actually bet on. So that's like the one thing a year. I always bet on the Kentucky Derby, but I'm never informed. I haven't even looked, but there is a horse, and it's one of the favorites. It's one of the 2 or 3 favorites that's trained by an Oregon alum.
Oh, cool.
So I'm definitely going to have $2 to win on that horse. Whoever he is, whatever his pedigree is, whatever his race history is, I'll be betting $2 to win on that horse.
Yeah, I did not know. I really like.
Couldn't even tell you his name right now, but
hey, horse names are one of my favorite pastimes to look at. There's been some great ones. We were talking about this in the studio. So Known Agenda, I mean, great name.
Good name. Yep.
Brooklyn Strong, pretty solid name.
Yeah. Yep.
I personally like O Bessos.
Ooh. I don't know. Obeso sounds like. Yeah.
Yeah, you got it. Like Scott said, you have to find a way to say all of these. If you're the broadcaster, down the stretch it comes.
Brielle bets the names, and she always does better than I do.
I like Rock Your World. That's a good horse name.
Yep.
And then Essential Quality. I like Essential Quality.
Rock Your World might. Let me look at the old.
Rock Your World's a 5-1 favorite.
That might be the Oregon horse.
Really?
Yeah.
If it's Rock Your World,
hang on a sec. The Alumni Association, the Handy UO Alumni Association.
Hey, right behind you. Good connection. UOAA.
Oh, yeah.
You're brought to us by the UOAA.
They're the best. Rock Your World, yeah.
No kidding.
Trained by a proud duck.
Let's go Rock Your World. All right, Dave, we're going with Rock Your World. That's a good pick.
I might even go $4.
Whoa.
Rock Your World.
That's how much is a cup of coffee now?
Yeah, about.
That's 2 cups, or is that only 1?
Yeah.
Oh, man. All right, he's wagering a cup of coffee. Rob Moseley is the
Rock Your World.
Rock Your World. Let's go.
Yep.
Let's go. All right, Rob, thanks for always taking the time.
Absolutely.
We'll see you around, I guess, on Saturday, huh?
Yeah. Well, if I'm not glued to the TV watching Rock Your World.
Well, yeah, that's right.
You don't want to say glued when it comes to horse racing, do you?
No, you don't.
Oh.
No, that was...
Sorry.
Mm-hmm. What time is the Derby, actually? I don't even know.
Usually it's 1 or something, right?
So are we going to know before the spring game?
I think so. Yep.
Okay.
Your world will be rocked by the
Yes.
time the spring game begins.
Yes. Will you wear a hat to the spring game in honor of the Kentucky Derby?
Oh, like a big one?
Yeah.
I mean, I wear a hat most days.
I think that you're the closest to it with your bucket hat.
Yeah.
I do. I will tell you, I've said this on the baseball broadcast. The only reason that I know that it's you is the bucket hat from the press box.
But, see, everybody else doesn't wear a goofy hat except for on Kentucky Derby Day. Maybe that's the day I don't wear a goofy hat.
You're onto something,
and that's my nod to the Derby.
Yep. Yeah, Dave's going to throw $2 down on Rock Your World as well.
Love it.
Let's go Rock Your World, all right? Let's go. Rob Moseley's the editor-in-chief of GoDucks.com, and we have completely gone off the rails, and we're out of time. So thanks, buddy. Appreciate the time.
As usual. Yeah.
All right, we're going to come back after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield IMG College.
From the weight room to the classroom, on the field and off it, On Point proudly supports University of Oregon athletics because student athletes do so much more than bring us pride on game day. They bring our entire community together in Eugene and all across Oregon. So whether you're watching the game in the stadium, at home, or at your favorite local business, their success makes all of us stronger. On Point Community Credit Union. Join in. OnPointCU.com. Federally insured by NCUA. Equal housing opportunity.
As my family continued to grow, I realized I'd have to replace my beloved Jeep with something that has, well, more seats. I'm Jason Hines, Country Financial Rep and father of 7. Whether you're upgrading from your sporty ride with no room for a car seat or finally replacing your well-loved beater that still has a cassette player, you'll want the right protection for your new car. Work with a Country Financial Rep like me and get the protection you need at a price you can afford. Learn more at TakeSimpleSteps.com or contact a local Country representative.
Duck Insider continues after this timeout on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield IMG College.
Adopt US Kids presents What to Expect When You're Expecting a Teenager. Learning the lingo.
Jelly. Jelly adjective. Jelly is a shorter, better way to say jealous. As in, Chloe, I am like so jelly of your unicorn phone case.
You don't have to speak teen to be a perfect parent. Thousands of teens in foster care will love you just the same. Visit adoptuskids.org, brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Adopt U.S. Kids, and the Ad Council.
I'm little teapot, short and stout.
Here is my handle and here is my spout.
No, Dad, like this. When I get all steamed up, then I shout, tip me over and pour me out.
This is WWE superstar Roman Reigns. It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
Visit fatherhood.gov, brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Insider, presented by On Point Community Credit Union. Joey Mack inside the Country Financial Studio. I had planned to have you listen in on what Patrick Herbert had to say heading into the spring game, but Rob and I got talking about horse racing, so here we are. Also, if anybody has seen the Dick King Smith HQ tweet about the tallest mallard ever, just go to @TheOregonDuck on Twitter, and you're going to really love what you have to see, okay? Just trust me. Colby Summers, we told you earlier about being named to the Stopper of the Year award list, which is pretty darn cool for the Oregon baseball closer. And how about Oregon women's golf? Team will make its 13th straight NCAA regional appearance after earning the number 4 seed in the Baton Rouge Regional. Ducks have reached NCAA regional every year since 2008, of course, not counting last year that got cut short. This will be the program's 25th all-time NCAA regional appearance. Ducks, the number 4 seed among 18 teams in the Baton Rouge Regional, which will be hosted by LSU, set for May 10th through 12th. Good luck to the Ducks! Derek Radley's going to join us, the head women's golf coach, on the show next Thursday. We've already got that scheduled for you. Men's golf, Pac-12 Championships. Duck finished 5th as a team yesterday. And man, the story, though, was freshman Yuki Moriyama finished just 1 shot out of a playoff. And he was leading in the Pac-12 Championships as an individual there for a while. First Ducks in 2017 to place in the top 5 at the conference championships. 3rd top 5 finish for Casey Martin's team in the last 4 years. Ducks will find out their postseason fate next Wednesday. Also beach volleyball. 3-2 win over Utah this morning in the Pac-12 championships. Those continue throughout the week. Spring game preview with Jerry Allen tomorrow.
Steven.
Who said that?
Me, down here.
Ugh, what are you, a yellow booger?
I'm a banana slug, Steven.
What are you doing in my room?
I'm your sense of adventure. It's been a long time since we've had an adventure in the forest.
Mom took me to the forest last year.
I'm a slug, Steven. It took me a long time to get here.
You're right. I should get out.
Yeah, the forest is not that far away.
Hey, Mom!
Come to the forest where the more adventurous you lives. Check out discovertheforest.org for cool places nearby.